Welcome everybody, here's your Strategy Wolf and welcome back to Victoria 3. Welcome back to our Serbian Principality or Kingdom in the making. Welcome back in 1888 and our Balkan mod list and so forth. And before we get into the game, first of all, a little bit of disclaimer or a bit of an excuse from my side. Sorry guys, I know there's some people of you that actually follow this very closely and you have to wait unexpectedly another week. A week more than I planned to, so sorry for this one, but real life hit me hard. Hit me hard is too much, actually. I could have planned better. No worries, there's nothing bad going on. I just had tons of stuff to do, so I couldn't manage to really get out nice episodes last weekend. Sorry for that, and thanks for waiting. I hope you didn't get too offended. So yeah, apart from this, if this is your first time here and you already like my kind of style of displaying these videos, why don't you leave me a like and subscription to push me a bit and see other similar videos. I'm the Strategy Wolf doing historical gaming, or what is this even to be? I'm a historian to be at some point, hopefully soon. And I'm trying to play, let's say, the games in a more, at least not only optimization way to get the best out of it, but also to try to consider, let's say, the historical vibes or the environment to have, let's say, at least an authentic experience over here. And this takes us to our Serbian empire, still too much, where, let me know if I mentioned this, but I feel like I told so many times we were under the leadership of still Alexander Karađorđević, but no. Milan Karađorđević has taken over. Apparently the old leader has died. He's an opium addict, sure. Let's have a closer look at him. He's from the landowners, however he is a moderate, which is kind of helpful, I guess, in our situation. Wrathful, experienced political operator, traditional commander, hedonist, and opium addict. So actually, apart from the opium situation, not that bad. Interesting, I didn't know that opium plantations get a throughput bonus if you have addicts there. Well, you can't see it right now, and we have also a new heir, Mihailo Karađorđević, an ethno-nationalist supporting the Orthodox Church. Oh la la. Yeah, but I mean, if you put a baby into this kind of a suit and outfit like this, with this massive oversized head, I'm not sure. You immediately look like a baby Hitler anyways. Baby Milosevic. Okay, let's not go too far here and not spoil the future. Let's get rather in and see where we're going. We do control the Bulgarians still as a subsidiary or also a vassal, and we're trying to get closer, always with the Greeks that we have an investment agreement and alliance with. However, and still one of our bigger problems, if you want so, is still the alliance of the Russians and the Austrians, since after years of great relations with the Austrians, the situation has deteriorated a bit, and considering our options for the future and so forth, people in Serbia have been looking towards still I'm happy to show it to you guys. Still really is the question, how great has Serbia, right? Nation formation, sorry guys, here either the Serbian Empire or Yugoslavia. For both ways we would need definitely parts of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which unfortunately next to the strong alliance with the Russians is overwhelmingly strong, not overwhelmingly but very strong. So this is overwhelmingly actually, holy moly. Wow, in this mod version, the big powers are going strong, right? Everybody around 500 battalions, the US not really. But they also have, as an excuse, this weird Canadian situation and the Mexican Oklahoma enclave. No, anyways, this shows clearly who is the big boy here around. And also what we saw last time, that the Ottoman protectorate here of the Sardinia Piedmont was annexed by the two Sicilies, so we might at some point, we never know, see actually still a united Italy. I don't know, would be actually good for us, some more tension on the Austrian border, but yeah. We get Steel Railway Cars, and I think we're gonna right away activate also those guys. Gotta find that first. Should be helpful. probably engines turn more expensive. Do we need the steel rights? Nope. Let's leave the wooden passenger carriages. And let's see, is the motor situation so bad? Motors could be cheaper. Oh, no art at all. Where are we just building actually? Oh, there's a long building list. Ooh, yeah. But maybe let's bang quickly also next to motor industries a quick for the artists, what do you call it? The art stuff. Arts Academy out. Or actually they could hire if they wanted to, so no. Let's leave this the Royal Serbian Navy. Yeah, and then let's maybe bring it up even earlier. But let's finish the port in Albania first. To which level are we building the ports right now? Yeah, we're gonna do something later, level 7. Yeah, we gotta utilize this. So few access to the seas will be helpful for any market connection or any future colonies is maybe too much. I still don't have a strong plan to go colonial here with the Serbians. I know there were some wishes of you guys and will still respect it or consider it. But I think we have other things to prioritize on. We could beat up, of course, the Ottomans to some extent. But eventually, I mean, here, Macedonia, it is Greek, let's be honest, and since we want good relations with the Greeks, I'm just surprised that actually Greece doesn't have any claims to it. They got here the Hellenes, right? This is a Greek puppet now, that's good. The Hellenes here in Chios on the islands, but Macedonia not, okay. Do they have claims on capital state Hellas? Claims Trebizond. That's really confusing to me that Greece doesn't have any claims over there. Also confusing that they never went for Crete. Do they have claims on Crete? I mean, you could also go for Crete as a little bit of... Yeah, but I mean, understandably, I would say, I think if I was a Greek at this time and giving the rumors and changes here in the Balkans, I think there would be, realistically speaking, a claim in any Serbian government that would like to form a closer alliance with the Greeks, and essentially we don't have any huge problems or yeah, whatever, Macedonia, right, with them. So I think we would rather make sure they get this instead of pushing too hard and risking good relations with them, right? We're gonna go definitely for the steam-powered threshing machine since we want to rice wheat. The orchard's not at all right. Yeah, since, you know, we have almost full employment and we need to... Here I would also, by the way, with this in here in these perfectly good mines here in Sicily, maybe. Let's build this first. We have full employment mostly, right? Let's have a quick look. Population, Bosnia, fully employed. Still nobody's going to London, but still. Wow. Southern Serbia. Yeah, as you see, we are almost fully employed. Albania still has some peasants, but we're almost at the limit, so of course we're saving up where we can. Other side of the fence. People have been complaining about the difference in living standards between us and our neighbors in Austria. After the shop door swung shut, they exchanged a meaningful glance. Let me have a look, by the way. Is this so true? Wait, what? Why is this so... everything red? So first of all, we have the same standard of living. In average, we have a better one than the French, the Germans, or at least the North Germans, the Confederacy of the Rhine, 8.7. What the hell happened here? I mean, this is the weirdest country in this game ever. Like that. I mean, Bavaria was part of the Confederacy of the Rhine under Napoleon, or this is Rhine. Yeah, I don't. I'm not an expert on the depth of the constitution or the connection of the integration of the cooperation of the Rhine, but still this combination here with the Dutch is so weird, and I can't understand why is the display so bad here for us? Can we not? Yeah, let's have a look. Who want to bolster a bit? Yeah, clearly they are liars who cheat foreigners out of money. Yeah, this makes sense, and especially since that's so weird. In my other things, sometimes maybe it's with the mods and so forth, like standard of living. There would be. Why is there no bigger differences? 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 15. And I feel like it worked last time now. Anyways. But anyway, since we're deteriorating our relations with the Austrians, that's clear. And we still have a trade agreement. But I guess at some point this will break. But if our relations are bad, I think they will quit it anyway. So no need to rush from my side. Could use a new rivalry, by the way. In the meantime, when I'm already babbling, yeah, the Swiss are the Swiss are an absolutely terrifying organization. Yes, let's pick them as a rival. What happened actually? They had this revolution and I didn't even check. André Payet, okay, Franco-Provençal, Swiss guy, okay. Okay, but they're still like normal, I would say, of the first view. Yeah, getting back to babbling. Yeah, I've seen there is a new expansion plan, or at least for the next DLC out for Victoria. Or I think when then it even did. I should have been better prepared. I read it this week. The next one was on trade and so forth, and then we had Spain and Portugal. Oh yeah, there was an entire plan for this year. And there was something on Austria and the Ottomans and the Balkan. Exactly, yeah. So maybe we're playing now the mod that we can see how the region looks like once it's worked anyways, or with the official. That's fantastic. That's really good. That's what I wanted. Yeah, when we have a work over or the official, when officially Paradox takes care of that, we can see where this is leading. How this is going to look like. In my opinion, yeah, the first ideas were really good, and I think, of course, that the Balkans, I wouldn't play with this mod otherwisely, has been an absolutely neglected part of the world for Victoria, given the relevance in the 19th century. I mean, this is also, again, probably quite a Eurocentric approach and the Balkans are, economically speaking, probably, and this is also just my guess, not that relevant for the economic development of Europe also in the 19th century. But due to the tensions, the political implication and so forth that have been coming along with that. No, and once again, I don't want to do this because I still think they're going to be annexed anyways, and so far it has not been very beneficial for us. We even have the investment rights, yeah. So I think this is really important. So far in vanilla Victoria, the Balkans were absolutely boring in my opinion. Never anything huge happened or just messed up stuff. So this is something I'm looking forward to. I mean, Spain and Portugal. I'm not an expert on Spanish, 19th century neither, with the Carlists and so forth, nor the Portuguese. Well, for me, this looked okay so far, but of course, if every region gets one, it makes sense. Looks like if Central Europe is not getting anything next year, but if they're doing did France, they are doing, I think trade is probably, and charter companies like the EIC probably is something with also involved or more around the Brits. They did South America, they did in the Balkans, maybe North America is coming, I guess. I guess at some point we're gonna see definitely Germany or Italy expansion pack and or. Oh no! Where is this coming from? The propagandists have been no. Oh, we need the migration attraction. Okay, a beautiful Balkan block has melted away. Can we just do it again? Let's try it again. Yeah, this is the probably. I guess once again I don't want to spend too much time right now doing this. We had it white, red, and blue, right? Since Serb. Well, let's see. This is the problem with the volatile prestige. Despite our growing and ever-growing fleet, but yeah. What I was talking about, yeah, Germany and Italy, I think the unifications are still very messed up, or yeah, they don't even represent the gravity, at least. I mean, I do have the German perspective, of course. This makes it a bit shield frame, shield center here. Let's take the Spartan, right? Yeah, well, of course. And do something. What did we have? Trade League? Or military didn't work, religious and we didn't want, ideological no, sovereign. Let's do the Trade League, right? Or the Empire. What is... We get 25 authority at the moment. Oh, come on, no. We're doing again the Trade League and we're bringing in... the internal trade. Oh, and then we wasted some time because we are once again not a major power, so Balkan bloc is gone for good. Sad, but maybe we're gonna have it once with minor power, yeah. Fluctuations of prestige. Nice. Interrupted me in my monologue about future DLCs, politics of the paradox. Yeah, this episode I'm gonna keep on talking about this. This is something that keeps me going. Yeah, when I mentioned it so far, okay, unification processes is something we need to go for badly, in my opinion. Apart from also, of course, mechanical improvements here and there, and yeah. So, but at least I feel like Victoria is actually on good track. Or at least I found it's very nice news about the upcoming DLCs. Whilst Crusader Kings, for example, really annoyed me hardcore this week, or recently with their announcement of upcoming DLCs. By the way, how is it happening that we're suddenly drifting into this huge deficit again? Where is this coming from? We should... Oh, we have suddenly also a huge bureaucracy problem. Let's... With the French we have no trade, right? No. Let's stop some trades where... come on, let's actually clean this up a bit. Yeah, okay, this helps already a bit. Wasted some taxes. Ooh. Kind of impressive. That was a big one, actually. Kind of impressive about how big our country's GDP nowadays is, so that we can actually make such a big difference by just raising taxes. Back to my monologue. I think Crusader Kings really disappointed me, since I really liked the Crusader Kings 3. I liked it, and I still played it. But it's still lacking so much flavor, and it's in depth, and in my opinion, an essential mechanics that would display the medieval correctly. And it's just focusing on these more like show-off things, in my opinion. It's a trend in Paradox I don't like at all. That's probably for the YouTubers and the big stuff that you can show who can blob, who can map paint the best, and so forth. And this is like big heroes, whilst just bringing me a bit more of the old Paradox correct and good intense feeling, because yeah, Crusader Kings, in my opinion, is the one of displaying a huge part of the medieval, like 400 years or more, and it's very hard to display this feudal mechanics only in Europe and the Arab world. So it actually needs to, yeah, make that and like make it even more interesting and differently, in my opinion, of fleshing these out in different regions and so forth, and some essential mechanics to display the medieval, for example, the mechanics of being emperor, or like coronation ceremonies in Rome, and the relationship of emperor and pope. And of course this is again a very German perspective, but also actually not necessarily. I think like I can turn this up a bit, since also other countries I think always were in relationship with the idea of the emperor as universal emperor coming still from Rome. And yeah, this isn't displayed at all, and the entire conflict of church and state and these things as dimensions that are not being respected in Crusader Kings yet And I was hoping so much for it, and then I think the Mongols expansion and so forth is a good one. I absolutely don't mind this one, but then, yeah, my big problem, you were guessing, is the extension of Asia, because they're bringing in just to make it a bigger and more huge experience, and people can talk. I'm happy to play in Asia, and this is it's not my idea of like making this less interesting. I mean, this part of the world was way more developed at the time. I'm just saying I feel like the Crusader Kings mechanics don't fit necessarily Asian worlds, and therefore shouldn't be implemented, especially since this needs so much attention to make it properly fit, that I think this attention would be way better spent to focus on the fleshing out of more correct stuff. So this is probably one of the first times I'm not buying the chapter for the packages for the Crusader Kings, since I'm really not. Maybe the Mongolian one for sure, but this Asian one I'm really skipping, and I have really big doubts that this is going to enhance the game, since performance is going probably also down if you want to display all this in detail. So yeah, I think it's just probably to attract. No, this is also fair, of course, if people from Asia maybe want to play rather in their home areas where they can relate to better. 5 years minus 5%. Nope. But yeah, we shall see. I'll give it a chance. I'll give it a chance when we're there, when it's out, and have a look. But probably not going to buy the DLC. And just I'm really annoyed. Was really annoyed by the overall idea and so forth. I'm not even playing Hoi 4, where I really also find these focus trees absolutely annoying, and nothing just the DLCs push out these things. Yeah, so it's. I really hope that Paradox is not going to all this commercialization and spectacular, I don't know, very polarizing way of bursting out big new stuff where you can, yeah. Okay guys, back to the game. Sorry for the excurse today, but this was apparently my mood, and you gotta live with that one. Back to the problematic policing. Police officers in uniform have been discovered supporting Serb-Austrian fellowship activity while on duty, lowering public confidence in the police force. A resident of Albania comments on members of the police force patrol that walk by in pristine uniforms with a hint of arrogance off their gait. Disdain drips from the onlooker's voice. These officers certainly think highly of themselves. They carry out errands for the Serb-Austrian fellowship and accept their gifts. They ignore their duty to the people of Albania. Yeah, we need to restore the public's confidence. Most certainly, yes. As you see, we're suddenly actually on a way of anti-Austrian sentiment here, and I really like this that we don't have to force it, and it's actually coming by event. So our deterioration of the relations has some background. But we also have Arseny Jeyat and his campaigning for the Free Trade Party, promote ideals of free trade, no migration controls, blah blah blah, you know, libertarian approach. Who do we want to be in charge? Always a little bit annoying in my opinion that Free Trade Party is depicted in red, right? So the colors are not amongst the standard color types or standard code that you might expect. Let's call it like this. Serbia's successes are for all to share. Yes, let's do that. I don't want to want the workforce to get too big over here, or the trade unions. I mean, very maybe quite a bold statement to make when in the background you're listening to the international hymn. Yeah, socialist strategy Wolf revealing himself. Just kidding. Identification of documents, very nice. Yeah, I mean, this is something we can always do, right? Also right now with diplomatic incident, Serbia introducing the relations. I think this might be the time to hit this button. Do we actually have some do we have a defensive pact with the Russians or anything? Not at all, but it shows quickly their power block, and maybe we can get there. Or we could form one. Maybe we should. get in there just to, as a little bit of a backup, that the Russians have our back in case the Austrians get too angry. What was it? 287? Maybe we need another... Maybe need another rival, maybe. Last time Austria was still here. Southern Australia, logically, yes. Modena also surely, and yeah, come on, Macedonia. Yeah, this is the thing, when you're so close here, this prestige system, it also depends, it's not only our volatile prestige, right? Since when Britain rushes up or they build a lot of ships, then being a great power requires also higher prestige. Therefore, it's not necessarily we don't always have it in our own hands. Anyways, I would have rivaled Austria. That's what I was trying to say. And yeah, we wanted not to support the conservatives. So now we're going for the defensive pact here with the Russians. That's a biggie. Let's try to improve with the Germans also, since they already guarantee us, right? Yeah, but this is good. We have the Italians and the Austrians as partners, and now the time has come to hit this very button and support Austrian Yugoslavs. Let's see what happens. With our support, Yugoslav radicals in Austria and Montenegro have begun organizing civil demonstrations across the state in the hopes of furthering the Yugoslavist cause. 5 million people who speak the same language. We read this before, okay. We will not stop until all Slavs are free. The infamy is no problem, since we don't have any right now. You get... Yeah, Austria and Montenegro is probably the worst place to start this, since we're talking about 62,000 people. But it is what it is, and we have our election that results in political disarray. We should have maybe pushed actually the conservatives. I forgot that we have a land. Oh, now we have only 49%. That's the best we can get in this kind of. I thought we were more liberal, actually. Yeah, well, the liberals have a comeback at some point, I'm sure. I would like to actually switch towards normal schools at some point anytime soon, but yeah, it's what we have to do. Can we do anything useful for us right now? Why actually not poor laws, right? Because everybody basically supports that. Apart from the landowners, we were going to miss out on nothing. Not even we have such a huge contribution investment pool. We don't even need them that badly. Yeah, let's grant ourselves some poor laws, some social support for the poorest in the society. Since we... Oh, now it's working again. That's beautiful. We lost a bit of our standard of living, but... The only thing that what I wonder about is that there's no green in there. Maybe just need to pass a certain level that it gets greener. But yeah, looking at Austria now from this zoomed out perspective here, at least Austria itself looks like actually the province with the highest standard of living in Europe, right? On Tyrol. 18.1. 18.1 in Styria, yeah. The Austrians having a good one. Eating all their Schnitzel and Sachertorte in the capital. And arrogantly enjoying the Viennese lifestyle. They're still doing this up to this day, no worries. And outperforming the French easily here in Paris and also in London. Oh, they're doing halfway okay. In America? Okay, America has a... Whoa! They seem to have quite a high standard of living in average. But also small population. Still more than us. Yeah, some of you also wanted in the comments, of course, pushed me to go against the Ottomans again. But yeah, I don't see it. Like, yeah, taking Constantinople, and maybe there was also from, let us say, there was Greek, or I don't know if a Serbian empire, probably back in the day, some Serbian empires in the medieval might have claimed the idea or had the idea of taking the city, for sure. I mean, why not? But nowadays, Yeah, this is kind of Turkish. Not necessarily the expansion path I want to take. Here, Bati Trakia, maybe... No. Bati Trakia also no Bulgaria. I was wondering if the Bulgarians maybe have a claim towards that one, but also not. What is we here? Yeah, Schleswig. Should be possible. We have principle of population. And what are we thinking? Poor laws? I think we can support this. Lower strata pops in Serbia. Or like this one upper. We don't have, I think we have lower problems with the upper strata at the moment, or they get happier quicker again. 80,000 people a year. Slowly growing nicely. Let's have a quick overview of our population in general. Haven't had this closer look in a while. Yeah, to be honest, for me everything feels like not having had a closer look in a while since, yeah, I didn't play for a week minimum. And once again, sorry if you just turned in right now, which would be highly surprising, but yeah. Yeah, as you see, clearly the expansion to Albania definitely brought in many of those. Turkish must have left. I should have kept track somewhere. This is something I would love to also have. I never hit these buttons, by the way, for this. I mean, this is probably really a good one if you want to see more. Here I can like deselect. Oh, I have to. This is actually quite a good one. It's census data here that gives you a good overview who has which. Why do I never check this? Well, I think this came also a bit later with some patches. While you're getting a great overview here, Orthodoxy is strongly in the lead. The Sunni have been reduced heavily. So I think our education program has some... Oh, and we're getting overwhelmed here with events. Has some effect for sure. Which is good. Let's quickly look. Political migration. We want Gabrielo Blasjananak. Why is everybody getting so ethno-nationalistic over here? We don't want these people. No, we can't have this. Ever increasing Serb-Austrian fellowship. This is a bad precedent. Yeah, we are not trying to improve situations with those guys. And Mishri people work is for everybody. Misri. Arab speaking. Do we have a lot of them? I'm rather keeping this a very... Almost not right. 26, nah. Sorry guys, not that relevant for us right now. Yeah, there's lots to see. We have... Oh wow, here is... Foreign investment rights in Armenia. Funky. Well, we could enter here, to be honest. There's something... this is Baltic governance, not Bulgaria. Bulgaria has the... It's the other way around. Okay, and there's a communist uprising. Things happening. Yeah, there are things happening. And yeah, we talked a lot about the situations. I hope you liked my... Yeah, a little bit of display of my thoughts. What do you think? Where do you want me to go next? I hope the deterioration of relations with Austria was in your interest. Which doesn't mean that we can go on the offensive very soon, since... Essentially, we need the Russians ourselves for an offensive, and since they have an alliance, we can't or we hopefully see, but with this standard of living, maybe a breakup or revolutions in Austria. It's hard to say what the future will bring, but I guess that's also the similar case for the Serbian government in real 1890, and they had less territory to talk about at their moment. So yeah, we're doing halfway fine. Balkan, dominating the Balkan would be too much, but since without Austria, Russia, without their acceptance, we know nothing, but de facto we are. Yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments, because this is a good moment, I think, for us to get into a pause and try to be faster with the next episode. Should be coming out on Wednesday for you guys. So once again, sorry for the delay, for the missing content recently. Yeah, if you liked it, and if you're new here, or even if not in the second time also, then leave me a like and subscription would be fantastic. If you support this channel a bit, let your friends know that we grow further. And apart from this, most importantly, stay loyal, and I see you next time when we continue. Also, let me know in the comments, by the way, of my X course. Are you happy if I talk about these kind of things while playing Victoria, or are you just annoyed that Crusader Kings has nothing to do here, or general thoughts about Crusader Kings, or paradoxes, strategies? But also, if you're interested, leave me your opinion on paradoxes strategy in the comments and so forth. Happy to discuss that with you. There's lots to talk about. Apart from this, thank you for watching. Then see you next time in the next episode. Bye. Your Strategy Wolf.